Welcome to Science 1 for SSCS Quarter 2 Module 6. Write your name before we begin. Okay, Quarter 2 Module 6 is to infer that plants have to meet certain needs in order to grow. And it has three subtopics or three smaller ideas to be discussed in this module. So the lesson, needs of plants. Let's start. We get our needs from plants like food, shelter, clothing, and air to breathe for us to live. Plants too have their needs in order to grow. Are they similar to our needs? Do all plants have similar needs? Let us find out what are their needs and what may happen if these needs are given to them. So our objective, so yan, tada, ako naman ang nasa module. Hi, my name is Teacher Rochelle. Please help me learn. Please help me learn our lesson for today using our module. In the end of the lesson, we need to learn to cite pieces of evidence that plants have needs to grow, compare the needs of different plants, and describe what may happen to plants if their needs are not met. To start with, let's have the pre-test directions. Study the pictures below. Color if it is needed by plants for them to grow, and put an X mark on the picture if not. So we have here five different pictures. So all you need is to color if it's a need of plants for them to grow, and if it's not, just leave it without any color. So pause for you to finish pre-test and then to continue. So good job, kids. I'm so happy that you're able to answer the questions. It's okay if you're not able to get all the correct answers because we just started. Okay, look and wonder. What do you think will happen if this plant is removed from the ground? Illustrate it in the box beside it. So this one is the first picture, planted on the ground. If it will be removed, so what will happen? So draw the next thing to happen after this being removed from the ground. So don't forget to color so that I would see if there's a change in the looks, or how will it look after it is being removed from the ground. And then to continue, if the soil where your plant is placed is dry, what should you do? Illustrate it in the box beside it. So there another situation. So look at the picture. So that the plant is planted in soil, but the soil is dry. So what should you do? So you're going to illustrate with including you showing what you have to do uh, what you have to do with this dried soil. Okay, pause to continue that page, and then resume if you're done to proceed with explore. Activity number 1, needs of plants. So the problem that we have to solve, that we have to answer, what do plants need to grow? So what you need are 4 similar young plants labeled as A, B, C, or D. So if you don't have, if these plants are not available for you, you can ask the adults for you to have uh, you can ask the adults for their ideas in order to answer the next one. So what to do? Number 1, put plant A in a dark room for 3 days. So it means ano siya, pwedeng any part of the room, any part of the house where there is no light. And then number 2, put plant B in a plastic bag seal it for 3 days. So you will be needing 3 days for this activity if you'd like to follow them in details. But if not, pwede na lang kayo magtanong kung ano yung mga for inferring, kumbaga for inferring, so that you will have ideas what will happen after 3 days. Okay, next, number 3, put plant C in a sunny place and water daily for 3 days. And then number 4, put plant B under the shade removed from its soil. So, for the same plants but different situations. So, these are labeled as A, B, C, and D. Okay, after these 3 days, so what have you found out? So, we have here 3 columns, the label for each plant. So we have plants A, B, C, D. Illustration, it means the drawing of how it will look after 3 days. And then what was not given to the plant, and circle it or them. So for each plant, you may have one or more answers. Kasi nakalagay dito, ano yung kulang doon sa plant or what were not given in those 3 days. So, illustrate. So, it will require four illustrations, 4 pictures, and then your answer on the 3rd column. So, conclusion, what do plants need to grow? So, you just complete this statement. Plants need blank, 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 and blank. So, where are we going to get these answers? So, if you go back to this table and then go back to this activity. So what were not given that affected the plants? So it means these are needs of the plants. And explore again for activity number 2, comparing the needs of different plants. So, study the poster on Indoor Plant Care Guide. So, makakatulong din to sa mga plantito-plantita even after this module. So, the symbol na parang droplet, so tells the number of times the plant should be watered in a week, and the symbol na parang sun, which is blackened, is the number of times the plant be placed under the sun. Okay, let's take a look at the Plant Care Guide. Sa iba ba siyang plant na usually, ang iba dito, mga nasa bahay niyo na, I'm sure. Tapos pinapadami pa kasi nahiligan ngayong pandemic ang mga plants. So this one, yan o, the string of plants. So it will tell you kung ilang beses to be watered in a week, and then how many times should be placed under the sun in a week. So iba-iba ang for each plant. And then, after you look at the care guide, so there are instructions to follow. Number 1, so dito mag-answer. Number 1, encircle the plant that needs daily watering. So, tingnan nyo na lang yung diagram. Among these plants which needs daily watering. So, kailangan diligan every day. And then number 2, box the plant that needs least or rare watering. Among these plants in the care guide, alin yung may pinaka-konti dapat na beses to be watered. And then number 3, put an X on the plant that needs to be placed under the sun twice in a week. So you look at the guide, put an X on that plant that needs to be watered twice in a week. Oh, by the way, if you'd like to use crayons na pang-mark nyo for encircling, for boxing, and then for putting an X, so pwedeng-pwede. And then number 4, so there is a blank. The question is, do all these plants need the same amount of water? So you just answer yes or no. And another question, do all these plants should be placed inside our homes every day? So, yes or no answer. And then, let's now have explain. So, for plants to grow well, they need blah, 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 blah. So it's up to you how many answers to be placed for explain part. And then for elaborate, so we have here the text. So what do plants need for them to grow well? So number one is air. Just like the animals, the human beings, we need air, and the plants too need air. So plants need air like us human beings and animals. Plants also breathe. But do they have nose? Wala. So they take in air called carbon dioxide, which they use in making their own food. If you remember, yung parts of the plant, which plant part, makes the food for them, for the whole plant? It is the leaves. So doon sa leaves, they need the carbon dioxide para, kumbaga, ingredients to make their food. So they breathe out oxygen. So naman yung which human beings and animals need. So parang tayo nag-exchange. So parang kumbaga may agreement. O, bigyan kita ng carbon dioxide, bigyan mo din ako ng oxygen. So that's how we live. Kaya dapat merong plants, merong animals, merong human beings. Okay. So this one, nasa next page kasi yung what is figure 1 about. So gas exchange between plants and human being and animals. Number 2, need. So water. Plants need water. So just like the animals, I've shown to you, naliligo yung animals to cool themselves. And then iniinom natin. Also, we use it to clean ourselves. So if animals and us feel thirsty, so we drink water. Plants need to be watered. So water being absorbed by the roots, if you can remember yung plant part, helps in bringing the nutrients to the different parts of the plant. It makes the plant stand and does not feel weak. So ikaw ba naman kung hindi ka bigyan ng tubig? So ganun din ang mararamdaman ng plants. So they need water. So in addition, not all plants need the same amount of water. So on page 10, balikan nyo yung activity, the care guide shows that some plants need less water than the others. So an example is cactus needs to be watered once in 10 to 14 days, or else parang nalulusa yung parang leaf parts niya na later on it will die. So ayaw yung much water. So while ferns naman na sa kabundukan natin, so like its soil to be wet all the time. So iba-iba din ang amount of water they need. So this one, ang cactus, and then fern. Kaya pag during rainy days, yung mga plantita, they put their snake plants indoors, yung aloe vera, yung cactus, because they don't like much water. Ayaw nyo nauulanan. Unlike with fern, gustong-gusto. So they enjoy. Kaya sa may bandang Mount Isarog, madami dong ferns. Saka hindi na kailangan diligan kasi the mountain itself, it has enough water. And then next one, sunlight. Plants placed under enough sunlight grows healthier than those placed indoor. So itong aking plant. So ang tagal niyang tumaba kasi dapat minsan should be placed under sunlight. But mostly this is placed inside the room, which wherein kulang pa yung ilaw, kulang pa yung liwanag. So sunlight helps the plants in making their food, which is called photosynthesis, so which we talked about in the previous module. So look at this diagram. Two similar plants placed under two different locations. One is under where there is enough sunlight, and the other one which is in a paper bag na blocked, the sunlight is being blocked. So after some days, this will be the result. So ano ang ibig sabihin? So plants need sunlight. So but there are plants that are good for indoors. Ito yung mga konting liwanag lang ang kailangan nila. They do not need much sunlight. Yung mga nilalagay ng mga mami sa loob ng bahay, ano yan, pinag-aralan din naman nila that this kind of plants need less sunlight and they can survive even indoors. Ito, it survives pero kulang pa siya. So, medyo payatot pa. Okay, next one, the soil. A good soil contains nutrients. So, if you can remember yung diagram, so the roots absorb water and also nutrients. So, from the soil. So, sa tulong ng roots, it makes the plants grow healthy. Through the help of the roots, these nutrients from the soil is absorbed. So, some people put fertilizer in soil for it to have nutrients needed by plants. So, if you heard sa mga matatanda, ay mataba kasi yung lupa. So, ibig sabihin, healthy yung soil. But, kung medyo mabato and then easily get dried, so hindi yun healthy. So this one is what happens when fertilizers are put in soil. So nakakatulong siya. So kasi may mga kumbaga vitamins nila. So organic fertilizer, between organic fertilizer and then synthetic fertilizer. So, dahil sa nauuso na yung being organic farming, so naglalagay na lang, make use of, most farms are starting to use organic fertilizer kasi mas healthy ito. Unlike with synthetic, may mga dinagdag na minsan may effects sa mga taong kakain. So, on the other hand, some plants grow in water like water lilies and others are aerial like orchids. So, may mga aerial plants na kagaya ng orchids and then yung may mga nauuso ngayon. So, they are not planted in soil. They are, lang siya, nakahang. But with orchids, kailangan siyang may kakabitan. So, pero they live without being planted in soil. With water lily, kailangan ibabad. Ito sa akin, may water to. So, I just made use of pebbles para to hold the plant. Pero ito mostly nasa water na lang. Okay, and last but not the least, so ito, this is our role, is care and concern. So this is the most important role of human beings. We need to show care and concern. They need us and we need them as well. So, diba? We exchange air. So kailangan natin sila, kailangan tayo nila. So, dapat we take care of each other. So, we should protect them and plant more, especially trees. So, planting trees can be done of any age. Kasi noon, I joined yung tree planting ng Cub Scouts. So, yung mga Cub Scouts before the pandemic, kasama yung grades. May kinder nga sumama, may kinder, grade 1, grade 2, mga Cub Scouts. So, we joined in a tree planting activity malapit at the foot of Mount Isarog. So, lahat nag-enjoy. So, at saka they see their role na kailangan pala ng tao. Kailangan ang tao para mapadami ang plants. So, if I do not water the plants in our yard, what might happen to them? Ano kaya kung pabayaan ko na lang yung mga plants dito sa may labas ng classroom? And what if I just bring them inside the house? So, para hindi ako kung tatama rin ba ako, can I just put the plants inside my room? So, pwede ba yon? So, what do you think? So, remember, plants have needs for them to grow. They need air, water, sunlight, soil, and care and concern. So, plants differ in how much they need water and the amount of sunlight. If the needs of the plants are not met, kung hindi sila nabigyan ng enough air, water, sunlight, soil, and care and concern, it will not grow healthy or it will die eventually. So, To continue, I will not show you a video anymore, but if you have your free time, panoorin nyo yung Lorax. So, siya, very colorful, tapos akala mo ano lang, it's just for entertainment para magustuhan ng bata yung mga colors and then yung story na pambata. But the message that will send, so very important, especially for adults. So if you'd like to watch that movie, yung Lorax, so try to watch it with your family members. So parang bonding time na din. And then if you watch yung Lorax, so I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, apply your learning. Directions, identify the need given to plants. Choose your answer in the box below and write a letter on the blank. So we have here 5 pictures, and then all you have to do is choose the letter, write it on the blank. So what does it show? What need does it show? Is it A, sunlight, B, soil, C, water, D, air, or E, care and concern? And then test yourself. Part A, directions. Draw a flower on the situation where needs of plants are given for them to grow well, and X if nuts of flower, or X. Number 1, Maria pulled out her rose plant from the pot and left it on the table. I repeat, Maria pulled out her rose plant from the pot and left it on the table. Then number 2, Jay waters the plants in the garden every morning. Jay waters the plants in the garden every morning. Number 3, Lara planted tomato seeds in moist soil. Lara planted tomato seeds in moist soil. When you say moist, wet. Number 4, Lucas forgot to put out his newly bought plant from the plastic bag. Lucas forgot to put out his newly bought plant from the plastic bag. Number 5, the Boy Scouts joined the tree planting activity. Number 5, the Boy Scouts joined the tree planting activity. And then for part B, what may happen to plants if their needs are not provided? If the plant is not given enough water, no sunlight, or no, siguro limited ang air kasi pwedeng it's not placed outside, and then it's not given enough care and concern. So you are going to illustrate the plant na kumbaga next thing to happen. So what would happen to the plant? Illustrate and color it. And then below, write a sentence about it. Very short lang. It will blank. So ganun na lang. And then for reflect, wow, congratulations for finishing this module. I know you have learned a lot. Put a check in the proper column if you can do this or not. So I can cite pieces of evidence that plants have needs to grow. Yes or no? And then next, I can compare the needs of different plants. Is it yes or no? Third one, I can describe what may happen to plants if their needs are not met. Is it yes or no? And the last question under reflect, which part in the module did you enjoy best and why? So very short answers will do. And the next glossary, we have carbon dioxide. It is the air that plants breathe and needed in making their own food. Oxygen, air that animals and human beings need. Nutrients, needed for healthy growth and development. So that's. And then next one, this was mentioned in the previous module, photosynthesis, activity of plants when they make their own food. And then fertilizer added to soil for it to become good for plants. Last part, post-test directions. Read and understand each question below. Write the letter on the blank if it's A, B, C, or D. Number 1. What need is given to plants during rainy days? Is it A, sunlight, B, soil, C, air, D, water? What need is given to plants during rainy days? A, sunlight, B, soil, C, air, D, water. Number 2. What need is given to plants when you pull out the weeds around them? A, air, B, sunlight, C, care, D, soil. I repeat, what need is given to plants when you pull out the weeds around them? A, air, B, sunlight, C, care, D, soil. Number 3. Amanda went to Legazpi for 5 days. She left her plant in her bedroom, which is dark. What need was not given to the plant? A, soil, B, air, C, water, D, sunlight. Amanda went to Legazpi for 5 days. She left her plant in her bedroom, which is dark. What need was not given to the plant? A, soil, B, air, C, water, D, sunlight. And then number 4, what may happen to Amanda's plant in connection with number 3? A, the plant will become healthy. B, its leaves will become greener. C, the plant may die later. D, its roots may grow longer. What may happen to Amanda's plant? A, the plant will become healthy. B, its leaves will become greener. C, the plant may die later. D, its roots may grow longer. Number 5. Your mother asks you to take care of her plants in the garden so that they will grow well. What is the best thing to do? A, I will pull out the flowers. B, I will let my pets play with the plants. C, I will water them regularly. D, I will bring them inside the house. Your grandmother asks you to take care of her plants in the garden so that they will grow well. What is the best thing to do? A, I will pull out the flowers. B, I will let my pets play with the plants. C, I will water them regularly. D, I will bring them inside the house. If you're done, so take a look at your answers from number 1 until number 5. Make sure that no blanks are left. So hi, I am back to congratulate you again. I hope you got a perfect score by this time kasi ang dali-daling to. But if you still have some errors or if you find the module hard, so you may read the module again or set a conference with your teacher until you learn. So that's all. Have a great day.